Hello, my name is Patrick Moore.
I'm Marlisa McLaughlin.
Welcome to Health Buzz.
Perspectives on natural health and healing.
The title of our show this evening is
Know Your Biofield.
Improve Your Health, Marlisa. And this show is a continuance and expansion of a previous show we did, which took you on a journey to explore the electromagnetic dimensions of the human body. Today we will be exploring even further, and we're going to be looking at the mysteries, the secrets, and the science of the physics and clinical application of energy healing. There are many forms of energy healing that many of us are familiar with. Reiki comes to mind, which has become extremely therapeutic and popular in over 100 hospitals across America. Craniosacral, therapeutic touch, many forms of energy healing. So today we're going to focus on an innovative form of energy healing called the Biofield tuning. Now, we all possess an inner energy that exists, outer and inner. It may not be visible, we may not be aware of it, but it's there. So we're going to look in ways that we can harness and access that energy in ways that can improve our health and our lifestyle. So Marlisa, my co-host that I'm honored to do this show with, is an expert, well-trained energy healer. And I'm very proud to do this show with her. But she's going to be educating us on this world of biofield tuning, which is a fascinating form of energy healing. Assisting in us today is a volunteer, a client from Yale New Haven Hospital, who's a very prominent holistic healer, and she's going to join us in a few minutes. So Marlisa, first question to you. How did you get involved in the world of biofield tuning, and what exactly is it? How does it differentiate from other forms of energy healing?
Good question. Just ranging back, I began as a certified yoga instructor, but what prompted me was discomfort in the physical body. So I think that you viewers can actually relate to that probably across the board. We all get uncomfortable and we ask ourselves, well, how can we get comfortable? How can we handle that? How can we feel better? That brought me to natural healing and yoga, and then from there I studied craniosacral therapy, which brought my awareness to the subtle energies of body and the fascial tissue. So there was therapeutic touch, but we were also using energy, and we were learning about energy clusters that would group up in the fascial tissue, so I could actually sense and feel where the energy was stuck. So fast forward a few years after years of practice with yoga teaching and craniosacral therapy, and I branched out on my own and began to explore and experiment with my clients. And I began to notice that my hands would go into different patterns and shifts, and I was not only working on the body, but I was working above the body in a way. And at some points I was asking myself, what on earth am I doing? Because I didn't have that awareness yet. So I trusted and continued to move forward with that. And while I was doing a client intake sheet, I was looking for an image I could use, and I came across Tuning the Human Biofield by Eileen Day McCusick. So I got the book. I spent the whole weekend looking at all of her online videos and signed up for class. And here I am, certified in biofield tuning.
So, well, that's an amazing background you have, of course. But how would you actually define the biofield? What is this biofield? It's like the aura, right, that we used to know. The National Institute of Health defined an aura as this magnetic beam. How does that...
Yeah, that term has been around for a long time, and 1994, I believe, they switched the term over. The technical term is biofield. So your biology has a field around it. We'll just keep it really simple. And your organs are propagating vibrations and energy at certain frequencies, and your whole body sends out a field of energy that's about 5 feet to each side and about 3 feet above and below. And we're basically like a battery, right? So we're charged electrically, and the energy is flowing from top to bottom and everywhere else and in between. And what happens when we have an experience, and a lot of these tend to be like trauma experiences, uncomfortable things we haven't processed out and integrated fully, things that are blocking our energy, they process in new time, but then they shift out and they get stored, they get stuck out in your biofield. And that really interrupts the flow of your vital life force energy.
So it's the ancients knew all about this.
Right, this goes way back. This
Thousands and thousands of years.
Right, right.
Chinese traditional medicine, the meridians, the energy flow, the qi, blockages, unblocking. And this can be emotional too, right? The biofield, emotional and just physical.
Yeah, your emotional baggage is the term a lot of people throw around.
Yeah.
So your emotional experiences do get lodged in the biofield. Yeah, and they create a certain frequency. So a tuning fork, here I'll introduce my new best friends. This is a weighted tuning fork. So as you activate the tuning fork, you might see that it's vibrating, creates an electromagnetic field here. And as you're moving through the biofield, like your own, there are certain things that we're technically now inclined and we learn to be able to pick up and sense. And it's picking up a cluster of stuck energy. So the coherency from the tuning fork is we tune our instruments, right, to the tuning forks. Well, we're an instrument. Keep it simple like that. And the nice coherent wave of the tuning fork entrains an incoherent wave of stuck energy. And the interplay smooths it out. So it actually eradicates the cluster. And we return the energy back into your present time where your energy is actually harnessed and using it for your daily activities. You're not getting stuck dragging all of this stuff around. So you're not bogged down with stuck energy.
Sure, and we see in the hospital environment and medical technology today with MRIs, electrocardiograms that are being done using electricity and magnets and radio waves to analyze internal structures and organs and how electrical flow of blood flow of the heartbeat. And so it's part and parcel of our technology and analysis today.
Right. We're using it. We just don't talk about it, and often it's not in our mainstream. We're not taught this in school, but we are electric beings, electromagnetic beings, and the science is out there, so we're not here to prove anything. We're here to hopefully help you harness your own healing capacities with a simple understanding of how your energy body works. How can you get your energy back?
Yeah.
How can you recharge your battery? Not just with a good night's sleep, but in different ways. And biofield tuning is one way to help get your energy back into a flow, a healthy flow.
So you're going to give a demonstration today, right? And
yes,
show
I
us how
am.
this all works.
Yeah, I'd love to.
We have a special guest, as I mentioned before, from Yale New Haven Hospital, and I'd like to welcome Fernanda Clariana. Yay.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here.
How are you? Thank you
Have
for
a seat.
having
Yeah.
me here.
Well, Fernanda is well known in the Yale New Haven Hospital Network, which includes University of Bridgeport and the campus of St. Raves. And what's the local hospital up here? The
Yale New
Lawrence
Haven.
Memorial.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's
West
quite a network in Stanford Hospital, but she's played a leadership role of implementing holistic programs at Yale New Haven Hospital, and including Reiki. And not just implementing Reiki and managing all these volunteers, but actually documenting the therapeutic benefits from implementing that on different patients and also on the staff, I believe, right? You're doing it with these
Yes.
Oasis centers. Could you talk a little bit about
Yes,
that?
that's right. So we actually have been implementing what we call Serenity Stations, and these are mini retreat areas that we implement and we put together in different areas of the hospital. So we'll go to different departments, and we bring these little stations formed, by massage therapists giving chair massages and Reiki treatments and hand massage and guided relaxation. So staff that is very, they're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, they come and get a little bit of respite to their
So awesome. That is amazing that we have this.
It is remarkable, and I've seen some of the data and results, and it's stunning. The positive results in terms of reducing pain, anxiety, stress, helping to promote relaxation and sleep are just amazing results.
And yeah, we actually measure all that, and everybody that comes to these Serenity Stations get to complete a survey. So we ask them how they are feeling before and how they feel after the sessions, and the improvements are amazing. I mean, in the percentage of improvements are from the 60s to the 80s. and percentile. So yeah, it's really incredible how
It
it
is
works out.
incredible.
And we actually, I'm the coordinator for the volunteers in the Reiki volunteers in the hospital, and I have to say that they know us from the people that put everybody to sleep. So we go and we just put people to sleep within 3 to 5 minutes of the sessions. So I'm very excited to what you're gonna use me as a guinea pig here, but I love it because I would love to see. I never tried this kind of therapy that you do, so I would love to feel it.
Well, before we get started, there's just one more thing. We're ready to go and do your clinical demonstration, but this beautiful painting behind me is this. Fernanda is a very accomplished artist and has done many shows and exhibits, so she's going to grace our studio, and we applaud both Franks for the great work they do to put on our show and also to have this upcoming art exhibit. So could you just spend just a few seconds?
Yes, what I can say, it
this.
resonates with everything that's happening today in this show and what Marlisa said about the Biofield. And these are the 7 chakras that we all have in our system. And the first one being the base chakra, it resonates to one of the colors, is the red base color, and then the orange, the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, and the yellow for the power chakra that is in the solar system, in the center of, in the belly area, and then the green section, which is the chakra that governs all of the heart and feelings, and the blue one, which is the third eye chakra, the sixth chakra, which is the third eye, the purple, and then the last chakra, or maybe the first one, is the cranial chakra, which connects us to the source and the energy of the universe.
So the blue is the throat.
Yes, the blue is the throat. Yes, the communication. So that's what they say, that each color resonates with a different frequency and with the frequency of our energy centers that are all aligned in the spine.
We have 2 great energy practitioners now, so are we ready to get started? I'm anxious to see this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take
And
this.
I just want to say, as we prepare, that it was really a serendipitous event that this beautiful painting showed up today, because it's really, really important in the whole process of biofield tuning. Because when we go out and we retrieve that energy out in the field, we're returning the energy into the centers, the chakra centers to which they belong. So stay tuned. We're about to, no pun intended. Let's go here. Okay, so we're going to have this here. Just move it out just a tad. And for the purpose of the demonstration, Fernanda's going to leave her shoes on, but we don't have the shoes on in the tuning. So what we start with, Patrick, maybe you could move that over a little bit, is we activate the body parts, the 9 body points that follow along the Chinese meridians. So we'd start with the K1 point, which is right about here on her foot, and so I would activate the fork, and I'd use the stem of the fork, and I would... Can you feel anything through your shoes? Okay, so it's working already. So I'd start here. I think I would like to come around to this side and work across the table. That way, then I can face the camera better. So then we'd come on alongside the knees on each side. Is that pressure okay?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you to just place your hands up on your belly for a minute. I'm going to come onto the hips. So let's start here. And these are just tiny points, or momentary positions. We're not staying long and trying to work much there. I'm sorry, I got some sound. Now, can you place your finger right on the sternum? I'm going to come in and, okay, thank you. What are you noticing?
Ooh. That's really resonating. Is that the heart?
Yes, and here I'm going to do the lung point, so stop right there. Here.
Ooh, that too.
And so for those of you who are familiar with the meridians from the Chinese medicine, then we actually have an image for you the Chinese meridians. Frank, maybe you could put that meridian chart up for us. See the lines of energy, that's like all the highways of how your circuitry happens and how your impulses travel and how your energy flows. And so what we're doing here is just sort of saying hello to the body. Thanks, Frank, that's good. And awakening the body, just getting it ready to go. And I'm going to come around here. So how are you feeling now? What are you noticing after getting activated? Do you feel any different?
I actually feel that I'm still vibrating.
You feel like you're still vibrating?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Maybe I will just... So we use a hockey puck.
In a good way. I mean, almost like as if I'm floating, vibrating.
Well, that's nice. That's a good start for relaxation. So the central nervous system is starting to chill out. It's starting to calm down. It's starting to become more coherent. The vibrations are helping. Patrick, do you notice anything while you're observing? Did you see any differences or changes in Fernanda's countenance or body posture?
I think she's definitely sensing her. She has a very heightened sense. I know that. Tremendously heightened sense. So any little vibration or anything like that, I can sense that she feels it, is aware of it.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to activate, and then I'm not going to go through this whole process, but just to make you aware of the fact that I'm just going to open up just a tad bit here. Right about at this location at the feet is what we call the Earth Star. And when we have trauma or we have some fear or some stress, this tends to kind of like tuck itself up and under. So as you can imagine, if the circuitry is flowing, it's going to flow up and in, and it's going to delay a response, or it's going to cause the circuitry to be a little sluggish. So we want that Earth Star to come down where it belongs. It's kind of like at two ends of a battery, the little top and the flat top. Yeah. And that circuitry is going to run like that. So I would activate the fork with a regular old hockey puck, the Canadian kind of the
highest
best
quality.
Highest quality. And we have different hertz frequencies with the forks that we use with Biofield tuning from the Biofield Tuning Institute. Just to give you a sense of what it sounds like. So we stop and we go in there, and right about here I sense that her Earth Star has actually shrunk up a little bit. So I would remain here for a while until the coherent sound loosens up the stuck Earth Star, and then I would begin to move it out until it's below the feet where it needs to go. And then I would clear what we call the central channel, which according to the chakra chart is really this energy as it flows up through the earth and into through the crown. And then coming up over here, the same thing would be going for the crown chakra. So I would sense where the crown, the sun star, is located. What are you noticing, Fernanda?
I feel very peaceful right now. I would say that.
Okay, I'm just going to go a little bit more and move it up since it's that far up. So for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm just going to skip to the next part so we can sort of introduce a little bit more of what we're doing. And the next piece to this is using a pendulum. This is just a plain acrylic pendulum. There's nothing really fancy about it. It hasn't been blessed in a sacred place or anything like that. This is just a simple little tool we use, and it's really an incredible little tool because we're talking about the electromagnetics, right? So if we have something going on that's incoherent, it's going to pick up on a pattern, a flow of energy. And for the pendulum, if we get a circular motion, now I just moved that. I'm just showing you the circular motion. So I am forcing this in a direction. That would indicate that it's an open passage. The energy is flowing okay. But if it goes from side to side, and I'm doing that as well, then it indicates it's telling us as technicians and practitioners that there's a blockage here, and then we'd go to the right and the left side to see what we need to work with the forks. So this is a little indicator. So now I'm not going to do any moving. And there's always skeptics. I can't hold my elbow and do this for you, but I drop it down around where the ankle is. Now, Patrick, what do you notice? What is that doing?
Starting to oscillate.
And what is it, a circle or a line?
It looks linear.
It's linear. I see the same thing. I don't know if you folks at home can see that. So what, can you see that, Fernanda? And the longer I stay, the more energy it's picking up, so it's swinging more. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen every time. But I'll come over to the right side. Yep, that's your right side. And there's almost a standstill. Oh, there it goes. It's picking up now. Could be because the boots. And I'll come over to the left.
And that's all an expression of the magnetic field?
Yes, where the energy's blocking. And this one is moving a little bit.
So if it doesn't move much,
More
what does
flow.
that symbolize?
It means that there's a blocked energy
Blockage.
there. And then I would work
And
there.
if it's swinging and vibrating, it's
If it's a circle, it's flowing.
It's like good chi, you might want to say.
Right. Sometimes it is absolutely motionless, and when it's motionless, it means that that would require more attention. That was where we need to work first. So in this case, I would say that we have a blockage on the right side. But we move up, so we start at the ankles, then we go to the knees, and there's a circle there. I will move over to the root chakra, circle, the sacral is a circle, solar plexus is open, and the heart, open, throat, it's a circle, took a while, third eye, let's just come over here a little bit. And it's a circle. And then the crown, which is a circle. So Fernanda's energy system right now is indicating that we have a blockage to the right side of her ankle. Now what's really interesting about Eileen Day McCusick's biofield and her discovery of what happened when she discovered things were stored in the biofield was that there actually are locations where certain emotions are stored and can indicate something very similar to what Louise Hay's book of ailments were symptoms that lead to emotional blockages. And for the right side of the foot, it means having a struggle with taking the next step. You know, wanting to go into a direction that's new, or that you're doing something different, and you're you're a little stuck there. Does that resonate with you, Fernanda?
Yeah.
There we go. So, and I find that hands down, it often, excuse me, most often does. So what we do next is we'll take the workhorse, the 174 hertz frequency, and we'll come over to the right side. And I don't have the space. I would try the edge of her biofield, and I would go back around 6 feet and then move in until I felt what is called the edge of her biofield, a double membrane of what we'll discuss in a second. I just want to, did you hear the tone? So the tone's going to shift, or it's not going to, but that's one way that we can listen for how to know where we're going to stop, where the stuck energy is. Wait, that wasn't a good one. And I'm not out there, but let's just say for the purpose of the demonstration that I'm at the edge of her biofield. Well, one thing we're going to talk about is what is at the edge of this biofield, and that's a plasmic discovery that we have. There are 4 states of matter. So we have solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. And plasma hasn't been discussed, if at all, in our school systems or even
Not
just
at all.
out in every day. Patrick, do you have any?
Never, rare, no.
So
Not at all.
instead of empty space, there's actually these invisible subtle energy filaments that are information carriers. So as I'm moving through what we think is thin air, I'm actually picking up on plasmic coherencies or incoherencies. So as you look at the image now, we know what it is. We know that plasma exists, but we just don't know it's called plasma. We have an arced state of plasma, which gives you lightning. The sun and neon plasma is a normal state. And then there's dark plasma, the dark matter state, where you don't see it at all. It's so low and the currents are very low. And that's what we see right here. Thank you, Frank, for that image. So I'm working through the dark state, so or the normal states, because some of us can actually see when we're working in the field, we can see the energy. So that's what we're doing when we're combing through the field. What's interesting about this is that again, thanks to Eileen, we have a template to work with. And we're like rings of a tree. So as the central system here with the chakras is processing out all of this energy depending on where we are, and it gets tired or it's processed enough, it moves out as time passes on. So it goes out to the edge of the biofield, and then we find, and you can see the image right there on the bottom of the screen on the right, where the rings were like rings of a tree, and you take the age of the person all the way out to the edge of the biofield. So let's just say for the purpose of the demonstration, Fernanda's 10 years old. So the edge of her biofield is 10. Halfway would be 5 years, and then we move closer in. So we can actually kind of get some ideas as to what was going on at different age points where the energy got stuck. How does that sound to you?
Sounds pretty interesting. I never heard of this.
Oh, it's so fun when we have a lot of time to work with it. So just to close up the demonstration, just imagine that I find stuck energy. It's right here. And I would strike, and I would hang out here until this would disperse. And then because we're creating an electromagnetic current, it's just like a magnet, and we pick up that dispersed energy, and we're going to bring it, and we're going to drop it back in to that energy center, and then we would continue to work the rest of the body. A colleague of mine has a quick video. So Frank, could you put that quick video up? This really shows how the biofield...
I'm Mary Frankie, a biofield tuning practitioner on the South Shore of Boston. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on how we work in the biofield. So here's a biofield, and that little blue dot is going to represent a stuck energy. And this being our tuning fork, we're going to comb through the biofield and pick up stuck and stagnant energy, drive it closer to the body, and then drop it into the chakra center.
So that was a great video. Thank you, Mary Frankie. That was such a simple, easy, beautiful way to understand what's going on when I'm picking up something in the biofield and dropping it in. It's electromagnetics. So what was that little experience like for you, Fernanda?
It was, I thought that it was really interesting. I am pretty accustomed to energy, and thank you. I'm pretty accustomed to doing energy myself to other people, but usually I don't get much done on myself, although sometimes some friends of mine would do energy healing. But this was very, I thought that it was very interesting, the way the sound resonated within myself, and it's just as you were doing the fork tuning, I just felt more and more relaxed. At the beginning, I felt like I was vibrating intensely, but then slowly my vibration started getting more and more smooth, and I just felt really, really relaxed. So I don't know what was happening energetically, but that's what I sensed. So.
Well, thank you for that. Good observations, too.
Excellent. I'd like to ask, because we only have a couple minutes left or less, if someone comes to see you, Marlisa, what would a typical session be like? I mean, do you put them right down on a...
We talk a little bit, and we become, we just regroup together after they've been traveling, and we connect a little bit. On the table, clothes on, shoes off, and then a typical session could last about 50 minutes. But we also have variations.
But you're always using the forks.
Well, we use the forks. We can use them with crystals as well. And the weighted forks are actually designed, as you saw in the beginning. You can apply them to the physical body. So there are ways to flush out blockages. A lot of times, especially now in the springtime, there's a lot of blocks from people working outside, so we do a lot of work in the arm.
Marlisa, typically the applications or the health situations people come in with, anxiety, stress, post-traumatic stress disorder, pain.
Could be anything. Could be sleeping problems, or you could feel great and come in and just keep your energy system alive and flowing. You want your vital energy to flow. So it benefits many, many different things.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
This whole world of energy, and I think that I, as a naturopathic doctor, at one time was somewhat skeptical, but when I saw the results at Yale New Haven Hospital with Reiki, it stunned me, and across America and across the world, that there is this amazing energy field And if we can, again, just harness it and understand it, so many wonderful things can happen for all of us. So, Fernanda, thank you for...
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
much
for
for
having
being
me. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you for hanging with us. And if any questions, if you want to get in contact with Fernanda or you want to talk more about anything, you can go to Health Buzz on Facebook, Health Buzz Show, Health Booze. We don't want any booze on the Health Buzz Show.
So thank you very much. Close it out, Marlisa.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And remember, intention is the first and foremost best initiator of moving your energy. So just use your mind to start the process. Good luck.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.